Hello, everyone, and welcome to the future of mobile, data-fueled, programmatic, and dominant. My name is Craig Palli, and I am the Chief Strategy Officer of Fiksu. There we go. For those of you who may not be familiar with Fiksu, we are a data-driven mobile marketing platform used by brands and agencies to execute across direct response marketing, audience reach marketing, and mobile app marketing. We are incredibly fortunate to be supported by 900 clients who, among other properties, have portfolios of 3,400 mobile apps. And for those clients, we've helped generate 3.5 billion downloads and over 350 billion post-install marketing events. We're here today to discuss an unprecedented opportunity for marketers, an opportunity that is driven by the convergence of mobile, programmatic, and data. A world where, for a $2 investment, a marketer can establish and cultivate an always connected relationship with consumers, cultivating that relationship further through signals such as location, time of day, purchase history. In short, for the first time, marketers can reach consumers at the point in time of consumption. And this is an incredible opportunity for us all. The result is there is a lot of attention on the mobile space. In this year, 2014, eMarketer suggesting that mobile apps will generate $45 billion in revenue. Fueling future growth, IDC indicates that 1.5 billion new devices will ship this year. Mobile-savvy retailers, Amazon, Groupon, Gilt Group, have all announced that either during specific periods of time or over time, now more than 50% of all transactions occur on mobile devices. According to Mary Meeker, 20% of all consumption time is now done in device, yet only 4% of marketing budgets are allocated to mobile. As long as these supply and demand curves are out of sync, mobile will represent a tremendous opportunity for all of us in this space. And it's a very large opportunity. eMarketer again suggests that in the year 2018, it'll be a $135 billion revenue opportunity. So the question for all of us as marketers is, how do we take advantage of this sizable opportunity? And the answer is, it all begins with data. The first question we as marketers need to ask ourselves is, are we looking to buy audiences on the mobile web or in-app? Because the infrastructures you will build and the way you manage data will depend largely on where you're seeking to buy audiences. Now, the answer is, or the answer should be, in-app. Because we as marketers spend and consumers spend 87% of our mobile consumption time in-app. So if you're not buying in-app, you're probably not buying a large chunk of your audience. And then again, in-app requires a different kind of infrastructure. The advertising identifier supported by folks like Apple and Google has become the new first-party cookie. So we want to design our systems and our marketing philosophies to be keyed off of that first-party event known as the advertising identifier. Fiksu has attempted to visualize what it means to collect data. The reality is you should be collecting every piece of mobile marketing data you can get your hands on. Here's what it looked like during the first week of the iOS 8 launch. Every blinking light represents a new piece of data managed by a marketing infrastructure during that first week of the iOS 8 launch. And what you will see is we very quickly get into tens of millions and hundreds of millions of events. Just across the clients that we represent, we've already generated many billions of in-app marketing events, and we use those events to fuel further growth in marketing, make smarter marketing decisions on behalf of our clients, and continue to grow this mobile app ecosystem. The data in mobile is bigger and better than anything we've ever seen before. The reason being is the device is always connected. We as consumers check our devices on average 150 times per day. I know I probably hit that by about 11:30 a.m. in the morning. As a result of that, infrastructures like ours have already seen over 5 trillion mobile marketing events. We expect to add another 1 trillion mobile marketing events in the month of December alone. There's 2 kinds of marketing events we as marketers need to pay attention to. First and most importantly is the first-party event. This is where we get actionable insights for our consumer base. So for example, you're a quick service restaurant, and you know that you have a cohort of users who every day at 12:15 is going to eat lunch. That suggests that sometime between 12 and 12:10, you should probably take the opportunity to market to those consumers. It can be time-based, it can be time-based plus a geolocation base, but it is the opportune time to go to that consumer and suggest, here's my daily lunch specials, we haven't seen you this week, please come join us. Third-party data can be used to help grow your audiences, define segments for future growth, so that you can build out those cohorts and create new first-party events. The key takeaway here as we think about mobile data is to remember that it's different. The advertising identifiers are different than the cookies. They are different than the URL strings. So as marketers, please reimagine your marketing infrastructures to be based on these new device identifiers. It will require, in some cases, scrapping legacy systems and thinking about building in-house systems to support these advertising identifiers, or partnering with a company that can help you do that. So now, we have a system, we've discussed managing data. The question is, you're managing that data, how do you now reach your audiences? And here's where programmatic comes into play. Programmatic is growing very, very nicely. According to Magna, over $32 billion of ad spend will occur programmatically by the year 2017. IDC is projecting $55 billion in programmatic ad spend in 2018. 2 weeks ago, I was at an event in New York City that was hosted by Programmatic. I was fortunate enough to listen to some speakers from Amex and Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble has already pledged that in the year 2014, 75% of their display dollars will occur programmatically. American Express is at 100%. So this is a space that's going very quickly, and the results are there to prove it. I think one of the challenges that is occurring for many of us in this programmatic space is, what exactly is programmatic? What does this mean? It is challenging to marketers, it's challenging to agencies. We'd suggest a definition along the lines of, programmatic buying is using an automated process to make inventory placement decisions, execute on those decisions, and incorporate a closed-loop feedback. Now, for many of us, programmatic begins with real-time bidding exchanges. Exchanges where a supply-side player, an SSP, representing publisher inventory, makes ad units available, auction-style, to demand-side players, DSPs, to consummate an impression purchase. That is moving very quickly in the mobile space, but it's also very nicely complemented by another form of programmatic that has been given rise by the social networks. Twitter and Facebook both have unique APIs which seek to mirror RTB exchanges just on a different technology exchange. It's API-driven, which is a different set of standards than the RTB specs. However, through these APIs, you can purchase vast amount of media, and you can then measure that media to create a closed-loop feedback based on the APIs, very well supported by the major social networks. So what this imagines for us as marketers is that as we build out our marketing infrastructures, we need to support programmatic, both in terms of RTB standards and API-based standards, so we can take advantage of the entire mobile ecosystem, inclusive of the SSPs and the social networks. Not only will be creating a programmatic infrastructure be beneficial in terms of the total reach that you can achieve, but also in the results. Behind me, you can see 2 graphs. The first graph with relatively straight colored lines represents a static bidding environment. The more dynamic, sort of varied colored lines represents a programmatic bidding infrastructure. The white lines represent the cost or or yield curve of loyal marketing events. And as you can see, in a programmatic environment, you can achieve much better costs by adjusting each possible impression opportunity based on all of the data occurring within split seconds. If you were doing this live, what you would probably do, what your programmatic infrastructure would probably execute on, is buying the majority of your inventory when the cost of that loyal user event is at its lowest point so that you can maximize ROI. That would further drive down the overall cost of your marketing and further improve your return on your investment. So it's a tremendous opportunity both in terms of reach and achieving better performance. So you've managed your data, you're ready to execute programmatically. The next question is, marketers, we're going to ask ourselves, what kinds of audiences can I buy in mobile? And the answer is unlimited numbers of audiences. And you should think of it that way. Audiences can be defined contextually based on the type of content consumers enjoy pursuing, based on demographics, based on real-time data, based on interests, stated intent, and even app usage. The social networks have taken it even to a further level. They have incredibly rich insights. The segmentation tools are incredible. Twitter, for example, has 361 defined interest categories that you can target against, among other variables. We've done a count on Facebook where we've seen over 3 million unique variables on which to target against. This allows just incredible segmentation and as close to one-to-one communication as you can possibly imagine. There's also another type of audience. This is the audience of your existing consumers. Imagine, if you will, you have a group of very loyal consumers. Perhaps your next marketing event to that very loyal consumer is just a note of thanks, an appreciation, a coupon, what have you. On the other extreme, let's say you're an app or a brand and you have 10 million installs, and 1 million of those users hasn't been active in the past 30 days. It's an opportunity to try to reinvigorate that cohort through a marketing event. You can also imagine a consumer who was perhaps trying to make a purchase. Somewhere in that purchase process, the consumer left, the abandoned shopping cart. There's an opportunity to remarket to that consumer, either through push notifications or when they're on a social network, to remind them to come back into the app and complete the purchase that they started. That's what we call stuck in the funnel. And another big type of audience that is increasingly being defined is the cross-device audience. So imagine you have millions of relationships on the desktop and you seek to migrate those relationships to mobile. You can target based on the IP address from the desktop and bring them into a mobile, and then reestablish your relationship with them in a mobile environment based on all the data we've collected. Bringing it all together. The future of mobile is about starting with large managed data sets. It's about combining those data sets with your marketing goals and then executing in a programmatic infrastructure such that every single marketing investment you make is carried through the closed-loop ecosystem to inform the next marketing opportunity. To get more granular still, every single impression that is available to a marketer has a value. Every one. And you have the opportunity as marketers to use your infrastructures to place a value on each impression. If you win that impression, see what the downstream value that is returned to you, and use that to inform the next investment opportunity. That is something an infrastructure like Fiksu does 420,000 times every second. Now, I know on the surface you hear these big numbers and this feels like a huge challenge. The reality of the matter is all of the technology exists to make these infrastructures very manageable for all of us as marketers. In fact, just today here at M1, there's some attendees like Localytics, mParticle, Tune, and others who can help you build these kinds of infrastructures. Certainly, Fiksu thinks we have a pretty good solution as well, and we'd love to have the opportunity to talk with you about it. But the reality of the matter is this opportunity is substantial. $135 billion in 2018. Most marketers are not thinking about it this way. The result of the matter is, for those of us who do, you will dominate. All right, well, thank you.